Loud and clear.
Okay, okay. Hello everybody. Ano ba? Happy New Year to all of you. Happy Three Kings. And I hope you had great holidays ng Yuletide season ng Pasko. Siguro maliban sa marami kayong pamasko, marami kayong pinamaskuhan. Alam ko yung mga all of you have reached your goals. I hope financially, no, for the year that was 2022. I know a lot of you have changed. Hello.
Mute lang po.
Hello. 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 Anyway, Happy New Year to everybody. Ito palapit na ang tawag nito, Santo Niño na yata, no? Next one, I think on the 16th or 15th, Santo Niño. So let's pray. Let's pray that we hit our targets both physically and health-wise, no? Pinaka-importante sa lahat, healthy tayo lahat and our family, our loved ones. Yun ang napaka-importante because no amount of money can buy health. Okay, can you hear me? Limar, naririnig niyo ako? Okay, thank you so much. I'll share without further ado, let's start, no? Ito is, well, the topic for today is our elixir placenta and diabetes, no? Elixir placenta, its role or in the management of diabetes, no? Madalas nakakarinig tayo ng mga pasyente, mga kamag-anak na may diabetes, no? And ano ba ito? What is this all about? So basically tonight I will be explaining to you what how in layman's terms, no? Kasi masyadong technical I don't want masyadong technical para mas madali ninyong maintindihan. How can elixir placenta help us, no? Especially mga kamag-anak, patients who have diabetes, no? Mellitus, no? These are just an overview. In 1980, there were about 108 million, no, na may diabetes, no? And after in 2014, na triple na ito or even triple, quadruple, 4 times, no? 422 million, no? Na may diabetes, no? And the incidence keep rising, pataas ng pataas, no? Mas mabilis, no, lumago o dumami ang diabetes incidence in the third world countries, no, low and middle income countries, not so much in the higher income. Probably it's because doon sa countries na ito, they have easy access, no, to medical care, no, madaling ma-diagnose, therefore madaling ma-address, no, ang problema. And of course, more importantly yung food, no, nakakapamili sila ng hindi masyadong mataas sa sugar, mataas sa carbohydrates. So this is the reason why mas mataas doon sa mga third world countries. Diabetes is a major cause of blindness, no, alam na, and kidney failure, heart attacks, no, stroke, and lower limb, yung mababa na limb, no, yung ating legs, it is the leading cause of amputation, no? Marami napuputulan ng binti, paa because of diabetes. From 2000 to 2019, there was an increase of 3% sa mortality o mga namatay dahil sa diabetes. So it's a real this is the reality, you know. In 2019 alone, no, pandemic ito, during the pandemic, even before the pandemic time, kasi ang pandemic started December, the whole year of diabetes and kidney diseases, secondary o dahil sa nagkasakit sa diabetes, went up to 2 million. Can you imagine that? Napakarami. Tinaob lang siya ng COVID nung pumasok ang COVID, no? So, and it also one of the overviews or knowledge about diabetes is that a healthy diet, no, regular physical activity, maintaining your normal weight, okay, mga overweight yan, avoiding smoking prevents and delays the onset of type 2 diabetes, no? Type 2, pinaka-importante yan, no? I keep emphasizing type 2 because type 2 is the most common, no? Ang sinasabi nga natin, sa 10 na may diabetes, mahigit sa 9, more than 95% are type 2 diabetes. Ano yung 1%? Basically, ang 1% is a mix of type 1 at saka gestational diabetes, no? Another fact is that diabetes can be addressed and yung consequences niya, yung mga nangyayari, mga komplikasyon niya, can be avoided, no? And or delayed, no? With just diet, physical activity, mga gamot, no, medications, of course, yung regular na screening. In short, you get to diagnose it early on, no? And therefore, you don't have to go into a very advanced stage of diabetes na mahirap na gamutin ang mga complications. And so what is diabetes? Punta na tayo. Let's dive into it, no? Ang diabetes po is isang chronic, sinabing chronic, kabaliktaran ng acute, no? Pabalik-balik or long-lasting, matagal na sakit, no? It's a health condition that affects how our body turns food into energy. So basically, ang sakit nito, our body, when you eat, pag kumain tayo, our body converts the food we eat into energy. Sa madaling sabi, ipapasok ng ating katawan ang mga nutrients na ating kinakain pabalik sa ating organs para it can function well, no? Para maka-function, no? Your body breaks down most of the food into sugar, glucose. Okay, in technical terms, ang sugar sa atin is in the medical terms is glucose, no? Sa layman's term, sugar if you want it. So glucose can be any carbohydrates or sugar, glucose ang term natin doon, no? The body, ang katawan natin, will turn all of this food that we eat into glucose. Okay? Tapos, i-release yan, yung glucose na yan, sa ating bloodstream, sa dugo, para pumunta sa different organs, maging pagkain ng ating organs to produce energy. Basically, typically, for example, pag kumain tayo, pupunta sa ating katawan, the body turns this into sugar, glucose, as I mentioned earlier, and the sugar goes to our bloodstream. Pag pumasok yan sa dugo, tataas ang blood sugar, magsisignal sa pancreas, sa ating lapay. In Tagalog, ang pancreas is lapay. Ang lapay is basically ito, no? This is the picture. Ang lapay or the pancreas is at the tip of the start of our stomach, end of our stomach, papunta sa small intestine. Ito po ang lapay, kulay gold, no? Yellow. Ito ang head, ito ang neck, ito po ang tail, ang lapay, the pancreas. Ang pancreas, mayroong mga cells we call the islet of Langerhans. Ito siguro ang nakadiscover ng pancreas. The cells, itong mga cells, pag pinalaki natin, ganito po ang itsura niya. Ang tawag po nitong mga cells, beta cells. Ang beta cells na yan, no? Technical, but I'm trying to simplify it, no? Ang beta cells na ito will produce insulin. Ito, yung kulay dilaw na yan, no? Okay? Pagka tumaas ang sugar natin, ang glucose, pag kumain tayo, kahit ano, as I said, the body turns that food into glucose, pupunta sa dugo, dadaloy sa dugo. Pag yung dugo na yan, glucose elevates, tumaas ng tumaas, the pancreas will stimulate, specifically yung beta cells, okay, sa pancreas, sa ating lapay, will produce insulin para dalhin. Tandaan nyo, dalhin yung sugar na yan, yung glucose, itong green na ito is the sugar, dadalhin halimbawa mo sa muscles para magkaroon ng energy, no? Kanya nga, pupasok siya ngayon sa muscles, okay? So, importante na may pancreas. Importante na the pancreas is healthy so that it will respond. Pag na-sense niya na mataas ang sugar, oops, magpuproduce siya ng insulin. That is, a healthy pancreas will produce insulin, and the insulin will bring that sugar to the different organs. Kaya alam nyo, yung mga athlete, no, yung mga sports, mga athletes, mga sportsmen, pagka sila ay mayroong marathon the next day or the next 2 days from now, maglo-load, tinatawag nilang carbo loading, maglo-load sila ng carbohydrates. Kasi kailanganin nila yan sa mga long distance running, kakailanganin nila yung energy, ilalagay sa muscle nila. So they eat carbohydrates. How do you store that? Of course, yung pancreas mo will secrete insulin para pumasok sa loob ang glucose ma-store mo. Okay? So, paano nagiging problema? Ang nagiging problema is when you do not have a functioning pancreas. Okay? Or hindi nagpo-produce ng insulin ang pancreas. Walang makakasama doon sa carbohydrates, sa glucose papasok sa organs. Hindi siya ma-absorb. Therefore, no, walang insulin eh. Remember, insulin is needed for the glucose, carbohydrates, sugar to be absorbed. Pagka walang insulin, walang ma-absorb na sugar. Tandaan natin yan. So, saan pupunta ang sugar? It stays in our blood. Okay? That is the reason why pagka nandoon siya sa blood, walang absorption, tataas siya in our bloodstream. And it will produce the different complications na mangyayari. Okay? So, basically, I hope alam na natin ito, no? Ito yung this is how it flows. Pagkain, and then tataas ang sugar mo, the pancreas, ang lapay, gagawa ng insulin, and the insulin will accompany your sugar papasok sa mga organs para ma-absorb yung sugar, para malinis ulit ang dugo, no? Ang blood mo, all the glucose will be absorbed. So, what is the main cause? Anong dahilan ng diabetes? What happens? Totoo lang, the exact cause, no, of diabetes is still unknown. Hindi pa masyado na-explain. It's just like cancer, no? Nakikita natin there's cancer, but we do not know how it starts, where it starts, no? Ano ba nangyayari? What triggers? Ano nakakapag-paumpisa ng diabetes, etc. So, the exact cause is not very, very much well understood. But in all cases, sa lahat ng kaso ng diabetes, there is sugar buildup in our bloodstream. In short, hindi siya na-absorb. Bakit? So, baka doon sa pathway, doon sa kunento ko earlier, baka walang insulin. Di ba? So, may problema siguro si pancreas, hindi nakakapag-produce ng insulin. Aba, may insulin nga, pero hindi naman na-absorb. Bakit? There might be a problem of sensitivity. For example, hindi nasi-sense ng ating katawan na tumataas ang sugar. Hindi nasi-sense ng muscle na andyan na yung sugar, kaya hindi na-absorb even if there is insulin. So these are the problems, no? The pancreas doesn't produce enough insulin. Mahina. May sakit ang pancreas. Bakit mahina? Immune system, no? Mahina. So, kailangan palakasin ang pancreas. Kailangan ng mga gamot so that the pancreas will produce more insulin. Pag more insulin, makaka-absorb siya ng sugar. See? So, dahil alam na natin how how sugar is absorbed, then we know kung saan magkakaproblema. So, ganun lang ho ang doktor, ang espesyalista sa diabetes, they know where to focus their treatment plan, no? Saan ba ang problema? Sa pancreas ba, etc., no? Sa bloodstream ba, doon ba sa muscle ba, o malalaman nila. Now, both type 1 and type 2 diabetes are caused by a combination of genetic and environmental factors. Ang ibig sabihin, genetic, abay, minamana. Sa dinami-dami ba naman ng mamanahin, no? Mamanahin mo, yung pang-diabetes ang namana mo, no? There is already enough evidence to show na ang diabetes is familial. Ibig sabihin, familial, nasa pamilya nyo, no? Pag ang father mo has diabetes, malamang. Ang mother mo, wala, malamang 50% of you will have that, no? If your mother and your father meron diabetes, then there is a very big chance na kayo, lahat, magkakaroon ng diabetes. If not early on in life, habang bata pa kayo, in later in your older age, o kaya pagka humina ang resistensya nyo, doon tatama siya, no? So ito yung genetic na sinasabi, genetics. So namana mo, nakuha mo sa pamilya mo, your bloodline may diabetes, no? Environmental factors, of course, a lot of them, no? Yung pagkain, yung lifestyle, no? Lifestyle is very important. As a matter of fact, sa ngayon, no, in wellness medicine, a lot of diseases we call lifestyle diseases, no? Lahat ng mga sakit lately a product or produkto or a result. They are a result of your lifestyle. Aba, lifestyle, puro gaming ka, puro puyat ka, puro bisyo ka, smoking, alcohol, this is a lifestyle disease, no? Ang the result is that, no? As the same thing as if you do a lot couch potato ka, you do a lot of just watching TV, Korean novela, K-drama and all, hindi ka nakakapag-exercise, okay? Abay, these are environmental factors that can affect your health. Kaya yung iba naman, mahilig mag-pilates, mag-yoga, mag-gym, mag-boxing, whatever. That's a lifestyle, healthy lifestyle, ika nga, no? Yung iba, walking. So, these are all affected. Diabetes affects all of this, no? Now, punta tayo sa types 1, the types of diabetes, no? There are basically main types dalawa. Hindi pag sinabing may diabetes ako, dalawang klase yon, no? Type 1 and type 2. Sinabi ko na yan earlier, mahigit sa 9 out of 10 type 2. Doc, ano naman ang type 1? Ang type 1 diabetes is dati, it has been known also is called insulin dependent. Okay? Insulin dependent. Or it is also called juvenile or childhood onset. Nag-uumpisa when you're still a child. So talagang grabe siya because minana mo, no? Bata ka pa lang, as a child, bigla na lang lumalabas ang symptoms, ang manifestations ng diabetes sa'yo. Early onset, no? Early onset. So ang key diyan para ma-memorize mo, type 1, una, bata pa. Okay, bata pa, mayroon ka ng diabetes. Type 1 yan. Ganun kagaling ang mga GFAX believers, no? Pag nakita mo, ano ba yung ating kamag-anak si kailan pa nagka-diabetes yan? Ay, 4 years old, 5 years, ay nako, type 1 yan. Ganon, ano? Magagaling ang mga GFAX believers. So alam natin, pag type 1, bata pa, it is characterized by deficient insulin production. Wala siyang insulin. In short, ang kanyang lapay, the pancreas is not producing insulin. Okay? Wala, as in zero insulin, no? Or kung mayroon man, kaunting-kaunti. As differentiated doon sa mga general population, mayroong insulin, may pancreas producing that. It requires daily insulin. Iyan ang mga nag-i-inject ng insulin. Bata pa, nag-i-injection na. Kaya mga kinder or elementary, marunong na mag-inject ng insulin because they need it. Hindi pwede mabuhay kung walang insulin. In 2017, okay, 9 million ng population had type 1 diabetes. Ito yung facts nito, no? majority ng kadamihan ng mga ito are, well, demographics wise, marami sa mga high income countries, no? Majority of type 1 diabetes, no? The cause is, sinabi ko na, unknown. Di pa natin malaman kung ano ang dahilan bakit nagkaroon siya ng type 1 diabetes. But basically, familial nga, sabi ko kanina. Ang mga simptoma nito, what do you see or what does the patient feel, no? So, ang symptoms niya na nakikita, excessive excretion of urine. Panay ang ihi niya, no? Polyuria. Poly, marami, urea, ihi. So, polyuria, no, is the medical term, no? Panay ang ihi. Bakit ito ihi ng ihi? Hindi yung may UTI ka, iba yon, no? Panay ang ihi. Ang ito bata, wala ang UTI, no infection. Of course, the usual thing na gagawin ng pedya, i-test mo nga baka may UTI yan. And only to find out na wala. Okay? Magdidig siya deeper and then request for sugar because it could be diabetes, no? But in our experience, ang mga doctors magkasama, no? Uy, sabi na nga ba may UTI eh. You see? So bibigyan ng antibiotics kasi inakala na UTI lang. Remember, diabetes diabetic patients are prone to infections. So, magduda ka. Aba, pumunta ito last month, UTI. Ngayon, UTI na naman. Teka muna, i-test natin yan sa blood sugar, no? Fasting blood sugar. So, number 2, thirst. Uhawin, no? Uhaw, inom ng inom. Poly, marami, deep siya. Maraming beses inom ng inom, no? They crave for water, no? Maya't maya nauuhaw ka, no? Constant hunger, no? Maya't maya gutom. Despite that, kain ng kain, nagkakaroon sila ng weight loss, no? Pumapayat ng pumapayat, visual changes, lumalabo ang paningin at madaling mapagod, no? Fatigue, no? Now, as differentiated doon sa type 2, ang the symptoms of type 1 is sudden, bigla, no? Bata pa, bigla, sudden ang onset, magduda ka na malamang ito is type 1 diabetes, no? And in most instances, this is an autoimmune disease. Ang ibig sabihin, sarili, no? Immune system natin, no? The theory is that yung immune system natin, no, kinakain yung mga beta cells doon sa pancreas, ha? Mismo ang immune system natin ang sumisira ng beta cells sa pancreas. Kaya walang napoproduce na insulin. Therefore, kailangan ng insulin from outside. Mag-i-inject siya ngayon ng insulin. Okay? So, alam na natin, master na natin ang type 1. Now, let's go to type 2. Ano naman ang type 2 diabetes? Ang tawag naman sa type 2, before it was known as non-insulin dependent. Ibig sabihin, kung ang type 1 kailangan ng insulin, si type 2 hindi naman talaga nangangailangan ng insulin, lalo na sa early stage. Maaari doon sa dulo, no? If it becomes worse, hindi na nakukuha sa oral anti-diabetic treatment. Siguro sa inyo, yung ibang mga diabetics, alam nyo yan, no? Mga metformin, mga glibenclamide, marami, no? Hindi insulin. By the way, doon sa mga hindi nakakaalam, ang diabetes na maya't maya nag-i-inject, no? Sarili. Meron na po ngayon tinatawag natin na pump, no? I-attach natin yan sa katawan natin. May sensor siya na si-sense ng ating katawan na ang sugar natin tumataas, mag-i-inject siya sarili. Okay? Yung pump will inject, no? It's a little pricey pero convenient kasi hindi ka natusok ng tusok or monitor ng monitor, check ng check sa ating dugo, no? Kung mataas ang sugar. That is the insulin pump kung tawagin, no? Dito sa diabetes type 2, kadalasan ang onset adult. Doon sa isa bata sa type 1. Dito adult, no? Matanda na, no? not during the young age, the body's ineffective use of insulin. May insulin siya, no? Unlike sa juvenile or doon sa type 1 na walang insulin, dito may insulin. Kaya lang, may problema ang ating receptor, yung ating mga organs na tatanggap ng glucose, no? Kasi ang insulin will make the glucose penetrate or get absorbed, no, doon sa mga organs that will make may insulin. Kaya lang hindi effective ang pag-absorb. May problema. Either yung organ ang may problema or wala siyang receptors. Ang receptors parang ano yan mga sites, kumbaga sa cellphone, mga cell sites na nandoon sa organ to accept the glucose, the sugar, no, na nililid doon ng insulin. So may problema doon, no. Again, ito na, sinabi ko ito kanina, 95% ng diabetics are type 2. So hindi ka magkakamali pag sinabi niyo may diabetes ako. Nako, GFAX ko natutunan 'yan. Type 2 'yan. Pustahan tayo, no? Now, alam nyo na, no? 95%, can you imagine 95%, hindi ka magkakamali. Pag bata, type 1 yan. Largely, this is the result of excess body weight. Overweight, obese, no? And physical inactivity. Aba, hindi nag-exercise, no? Kaya, dapat galaw-galaw para hindi pumanaw, no? So, corny ni Doc. Excess body weight and inactivity. These two are very, very, sabihin na natin, napakadelikado. Pag ito man nagkasama, sobrang na nga, overweight ka na, hindi ka pa gumagalaw-galaw, ay lalo kang lalaki, no? So, these are the factors that would make your diabetes worse. Ang symptoms ng diabetes type 2 almost the same as type 1. Sinabi natin, polyuria, ihi ng ihi, inom ng inom, no? The same, almost the same, but not as marked or not as worse as type 1 in a mild way. Not unless grabe na yung kanyang diabetes dito sa type 2, mas madalas ang ihi, mas madalas ang inom, okay? And all the other manifestations, no? Now, itong sakit na type 2 diabetes will be diagnosed o mahuhuli nyo ilang taon, no, after the onset. Ang ibig sabihin, nag-umpisa na siya nung ikay 30s or 20s. Nag-umpisa na. Hindi mo naman pinapansin Puro pag hanap buhay, no, ang ating inaatupag, puro kung ano-ano. So then suddenly, ba't ako inom ng tubig? Nasa 40s ka na, nasa 50s ka na. Ba't kaya ganito? Bakit kaya uhaw na uhaw ako, maya't may inom ng inom? Okay lang siguro, pagod ako, nauuhaw. I go exercise, lahat ng reason ginagawa mo. Huwag mo lang isipin na ikaw pala ay may diabetes na, no? So lahat, you will try to reason out why you're having all of this. Ihi ako ng ihi. Panay naman kasi inom ko ng tubig di ba? Kaya ganon. So pabayaan mo muna until finally one day makilalaman mo, teka muna, bakit ganito? Na maya't maya may infection ako, hindi gumagaling. Teka muna, pa ako, di ba? Hindi gumagaling, nasugatan, nagpa-pedicure ako, nagka-ingrown, nagkanana, okay na, nag-heal. Maya't maya, ito na naman. So, bakit kaya? Tinest mo ang blood sugar mo, that's it. Now, you have diabetes pala, malala na. So, this is the difference, no? Your diabetes, malalaman mo sa type 2, matagal na pala nag-umpisa. Okay? Late stage now. Although nakikita ito sa adults, ang type 2, mostly adult onset, marami na rin ngayon mga bata na may type 2 diabetes. So, yes, type 2 is more common in the adults, type 1 is more common in children, but let us not be, we will not be wrong if we think, mag-isip tayo na baka type 2 rin yung sa mga bata. Pero ito yung commonalities, no? The frequency is that mas mataas ang type 2 sa matatanda, ang type 1 mas marami sa mga bata. Ito yung pangatlong klase, no? Type of diabetes. Ang tawag naman dito, bihira naman ito, gestational diabetes, no? Ano ba gestational? Pag sinabing gestational, pag may nakita kayong nabasa nyo ang word na gestation, buntis yan. So, ang gestational hindi pwede ho sa lalaki na diabetes. Gestational diabetes is for women who are pregnant. So, gestation. Pagka sinabi, ano na ang age of gestation ng aking baby, AOG ang tawag namin doon, AOG, age of gestation, ang age ng baby is 30 weeks, 30 to 32 weeks, ganon. Gestational diabetes is diabetes or tumataas ang sugar values mo above normal. Pag above normal, the normal level of sugar, pag ikay buntis, no? During pregnancy. Now, women with the gestational diabetes have increased complications or risk na magkaroon siya ng complication during pregnancy and delivery. Kaya ngayon, routine na po yan na pag nagbuntis po, may test din sa diabetes, sa blood sugar to anticipate, no? Oy, ma'am, 1 month, 3 months ka pa lang pero may mataas ang sugar mo, therefore malamang magkakaroon tayo ng problema. Kailangan paghandaan natin yon. Anong mga problema? Kalagitnaan na sa second trimester, 4th, 5th month, 6th month, tumataas na yung BP, blood pressure, okay? And then, ito ngayon sinasabing, ko, may diabetes, mataas ang sugar, therefore sa blood, therefore blood goes to the placenta, placenta goes to the baby. Pag pumunta sa baby, what happens to the baby? Mataas ang sugar, malaki ang baby. So, teka muna, 8 months ka pa lang, pero ang kapako doon sa tiyan, sa baby, 9 months na ang laki. Sa ultrasound, ang laki ng baby. Naku, ma'am, naku, misis. Baka masisaryan po tayo, baka mahirapan po tayo, mga anak, no? I-push, mag-normal. So, maghahanda ka rin, no? Be prepared for a possible cesarean section. These are things that your doctor should know about. That's the reason why part ito ng screening na ngayon ng mga buntis, gestational diabetes, no? We call this a prenatal screening, no? So, these are the 3 main types of diabetes. Pero ang pinaka-common, as I said, type 2 diabetes. Ano naman itong insulin? Okay? Ang insulin, sinabi na natin earlier, is a hormone na produced by the pancreas, lapay. Napakaswerte ng generation natin ngayon. Can you imagine, ang insulin was only discovered in 1921. 1921. Can you imagine, before 1921, yung ating mga great-grandparents, walang insulin. So pagka nagka-diabetes ka, as we are saying, no, tataas na lang ang sugar mo, masisira ang blood vessels mo, including the nerves, kasi makukulapulan ng sugar-rich blood, leading to mga health problems and death. Sure death yon, parang death sentence ang diabetes nung panahon na yon. Walang insulin eh. Okay? Ang insulin was discovered by Sir Frederick G. Banting. Okay? Sir Frederick G. Banting. Wala ho itong kinalalaman or hindi ho ito kasama doon sa ating sanglaan. Tambunting yan, yung Banting. Pero sound alike, no? I'm just saying, Sir Frederick is, I say, Canadian po ito. He is a surgeon in the University of Toronto, no? Banting. Hindi ka mag-anak ng Banting. Okay. He discovered this in 1920 and they were able to isolate this and they were able to with three of his mga kasamahan niya, mga professors din in that university, they were able to purify it, no, ang insulin, no. Nakita nila that it is crucial to maintain the level of glucose in the blood, no. This insulin is one of the greatest discoveries of medicine in the whole world, in the history of medicine. Napakalaki ho nitong impact that ito ho si Sir Banting, Frederick, binigyan siya ng title na Sir kasi nga because of this discovery after 2 years 1921 3 years 1924 he received the Nobel Prize for Medicine, no. Ganyang katindi ang kanyang discovery na ito. It was really earth-shake talagang napakalaki nitong na-discover niya, no. So basically the pancreas, sabi ka natin earlier, doon sa pancreas yung beta cells or the lung islets of Langerhans cells will continuously dinidetect, may sensor siya na may nagsi-circulate na sugar doon sa dugo and it will secrete insulin para mapasok ang glucose na yan papasok sa mga organs. Now, the higher the sugar goes, the more hormone is released, no? Tumataas ang sugar, release ng hormone, no? So tataas ang iyong insulin level also, no? So chronic hyperglycemia, okay? Habang tumataas na ang iyong sugar sa dugo, will damage kung hindi na-absorb ang sugar nasa dugo lang, madadamage ang blood vessels natin, no? Pati nerves, no? It will lead to all the complications of sugar that has affected the nerves and the blood vessels. Ano yun? Aba, manhid. Pati nerves, tinamaan na nagmamanhid na ang paa mo. Nasugatan na hindi mo pa nararamdaman. Kaya ang mga diabetics, they cannot feel, oh, may sugat na pala ako. You see, mayroon ako noong ginagamot na diabetic foot, no? Yung kanyang hinlalaki, nakalawit na, hindi niya alam, walang pakiramdam, no? Inalis namin buong buo, tinahi, walang anesthesia, wala siyang pakiramdam because the nerves have been affected as well, no? So basically, these are the main problems nila, no? Doon na nilang nadidiscover na, nako, may diabetes pala ako, kaya pala wala na akong pakiramdam, no? So dapat yearly tayo at least, lalo na kung mayroon tayo magpakuha ng blood sugar, lalo na kung mayroon tayong genetically we are affected, no, if we are genetically born or we have familial tendencies towards high blood sugar, no, may mga diabetics tayo sa pamilya natin, no. Okay, so this is about Sir Banting, no. So let's go dive into it. Ano ba ang maitutulong ni EP, no, ni Elixir Placenta? Well, basically, ano ba ang pinaka-main ingredient natin na pinagmamalaki in Elixir Placenta? Stem cells, no? Stem cells for diabetes. So many studies have been done, and stem cells for diabetes have been found to make the cases pagka nagbigay ka ng stem cells sa mga diabetics, years most of these patients, they can go without insulin injection because of the stem cells that you have given to the patient, no? The main thing is, doon sa una kong mga presentation sa inyo, sinabi ko po sa inyo na ang stem cells are pluripotential. Pluri, marami, potential maging iba-iba siyang types of cells. So pluripotential. Kung itong stem cell, pwede siya maging muscle cell, maging bone cell, maging nerve cell, lahat 'yon, no? So ang stem cells in this case will need to reinforce the pancreas. 'Di ba kinain nga yung mga beta cells sa pancreas, sira yung pancreas. pinanganak na ganon o kaya through the years nasira, no? So the stem cells will come in to repair all of this para pag na-repair, it will produce back the insulin. Okay? That is the role of stem cells. So maraming stem cells. Mayroong stem cells that are grown sa laboratory and they become insulin producing cells. Okay? Balik sa dati, no? These cells could directly replenish, ito nga sinabi ko, no? The depleted cells in the patient's body. Ang mesenchymal, ang MSC, mesenchymal stem cell treatments, it will reverse diabetic neuropathy sa nerves, neuro, no? Mga nerves natin, kaya makakaramdam, teka muna, nag-i-improve ang pakiramdam ko, nagiging dating manhid, ngayon nagiging sensitive. Okay? So ito yung benefits of the stem cells, no? Mesenchymal stem cells will secrete neurotrophic. Pag sinabing neuro, nerves, trophic means positive, building up. So at least you are learning from what I tell you. So the nerves are built up, mga factors that will build up, strengthen the nerves, no? Angiogenic. Pag sinabing angio, mga blood vessels yan, factors, no, cytokines, alam niyo ng cytokines, mga growth factors yan, and other immunomodulatory substances, which will help sa mga may diabetic neuropathy. Ano neuropathy, Doc? Ang hirap intindihin. Neuro nga, nerves, ang pathy, pathology, sakit. So may sakit sa nerves. Pinaganda lang. Para lang masabing magaling neuropathy. Pero ibig lang sabihin noon, may problema sa mga nerves, neuro. Pag sinabing pathy is pathology or sakit. Okay? Now, when you receive stem cells for diabetes type 2, there is a very big potential for the patient's quality of life, yung kanyang maiba, no? Marireduce ang mga simptoma, ang mga komplikasyon, and it will show progression of the beneficial effects. Ano ito? Pinapakita ni Doc. Well, sorry ang aking mga shortcut. Type 1 diabetes, T1D, no? Ibig sabihin, ito ho, I'm showing you, paano nga ba? Laboratory grown stem cells ng beta cells. Ginawa ng stem cells, they were able to grow sa lab. Wala kang pancreas, wala kang beta cells. So wala kang insulin kasi ang beta cells ang gumagawa ng insulin eh. So cultivate tayo, nagpatubo tayo ng mga beta cells doon sa laboratory at ito yung beta cells, no? Can you see this? Ito po ang mga beta cells na ipinasok sa pasyente, no? Para mag-produce ng insulin. Okay, now, Doc, di ba sabi nyo, binigyan nyo ng beta cells ng pancreas, kakainin din yan ng kanyang immune system. Di ba yun yung kanyang genetic defect. Bata pa, ang kanyang autoimmune system, it's kinakain, sinisira yung kanyang lapay, yung kanyang beta cells. Na ba't naglagay ka pa? Tama po kayo. But notice, mayroon siyang capsule, okay? Encapsulated ang stem cells, derived na mga islets beta cells. Nakita nyo itong bluish capsule? Okay? Nakakulapol ho. Napaka-advanced na nito. Ang ibig sabihin, hindi ho siya makakain, hindi siya maaapektuhan ng immune system. Untouchable. Can you imagine that? Kung mayroon tayo niyan, okay? If we only have this technology that they are having abroad, no? Tong stem cells that will produce beta cells that are encapsulated to be protected para hindi masira ng kanyang immune system. You see this? Very important slide. Okay? Now, Doc, yun lang ba? Stem cells? Hindi. Ang ating elixir placenta, as we have shown you the 14 active ingredients, of course, meron tayong rhodiola. Okay? Rhodiola, what is the role of rhodiola? No? It has rhodiola powder, marami, may rhodiola wine, may tea. Ano? Sa China, most of the time they use rhodiola tea, kaya talagang leaves, etc. No? But in all honesty, in researches and studies show na ang rhodiola is more effective not as tea, but as katas, extract kung tawagin. No? The extract of rhodiola is very good. No? It improves fasting blood glucose levels. No? And just to show to you the highlights, ano bang salidroside? Salidroside is the active ingredient of rhodiola. So synonymous yan, magkapares. Pag sinabi mong salidroside, it means it is rhodiola. Rhodiola has anti-diabetic effect. It protects the kidneys. Renal means kidneys of the diabetic patient. No? Ang mga diabetic patients, syempre sa taas na ng sugar sa dugo, pupunta ngayon sa kidneys. Pag pumunta sa kidney, yun ang labasan ng ihi. Ang sugar niya mataas, pupunta ngayon, kukulapol doon sa mga tubo ng kidney, magbabara. So, hindi na makakalabas masyado ang excretion ng kanyang waste material. No? This is the reason why most halos lahat hindi lang most but almost all diabetics will end up tama kayo, madadialysis. Kaya pag ikaw ay may diabetes, magdasal ka na hindi ka umabot sa dialysis. Kasi ang dialysis you put a tube, okay, dito sa ating dito sa ating wrist, no, para yung dugo pumunta sa machine, linisin kasi hindi na ma-filter. Ang kidneys are filter, sinasala yung dumi. Binara na nga ng sugar hindi na makapag-filter. So, you are collecting or accumulating inside waste matter. Hindi na makalabas hindi na maka-filter Dapat yung waste dumalabas, hindi na. So, ang dialysis is the machine that will clean blood, nalinis na, naalis na yung mga waste, ibabalik sa'yo. Nag-uumpisa once a month, lumalala ang kidney, nagiging twice a month, nagiging once a week, 3 times a week, once a day, wala na, until you pass. Ganyan po ang dialysis. Kaya ako, whenever I see a diabetic patient, I tap them in the shoulder at kung kilala ko po, sinasabihan ko na lang, prepare, mag-ipon ka na lang ng panghanap ng donor for a kidney transplant. Doon ho kayo magtatapos. Pero ang kidney transplant, napakarami rin ho nang nakapila. Unahan. Sabi nga nila, naglalagay or what? Inuuna daw yung mga Hapon, inuuna yung mga prinsipe, and mga Saudi, whatever. I don't know if that's true, but well, we hear a lot, no? So, salidroside has anti-diabetic effect. Proven na po ito. Salidroside protects our kidneys, okay? Salidroside acts, no, not only sa diabetes but it has anti-inflammatory and antioxidative stress, no? So ganyan po ang salidroside. It is the main, as I mentioned to you, active ingredient of rhodiola, no? And iyan ang one of the main active ingredient of elixir placenta. Okay? Now, ang conclusion ng studies about salidroside or rhodiola is that SAL, or short form for salidroside, decreases blood glucose. Okay, bumababa. Talagang proven na yan, no? So it alleviates the clinical symptoms. Sabihin alleviate, nagme-menos, no? Nababawasan ang mga simptoma ng diabetes, di ba? Syempre bumaba na nga ang sugar, so bababa ang mga simptoma, no? It is used as a nutrient, no? Supplement siya pangpababa ng pagma-maintain ng iyong sugar na hindi tataas, magpa-fluctuate. And can you see, renal fibrosis, yung paninigas ng ating kidney, no? Nagkakaroon ng fibrosis or scarring, inaalis nun, it alleviates that, no? Glomerular sclerosis, yung again, yung pagsugat ng ating glomerulus. Ang glomerulus po, yun ang mga tubes sa loob ng ating bato ng kidneys, no? Renal dysfunction, no? Dysfunction, yung nasisira na function ng ating mga bato, oxidative stress and anti-inflammation. So, proven na po ito. And this is the reason why mas maaga nating maumpisahan, mahuli that we have diabetes, we can already start treating. Mataas lang ang sugar ko, hindi naman ako diabetic, nasa top. Okay? Ba't ako bibili ng EP? Ba't ako bibili ng Elixir Placenta? Wala naman akong diabetes. Papunta ka doon, may lahi kayo, it will prevent. Di ba sabi ko nga, malalaman mo na lang may diabetes ka years after tumaas. Ihintayin mo pa ba magkasimptoma ka na inom ng inom, ihi ka ng ihi? Malala na yon, no? Malayo nang narating ng iyong diabetes. So, don't wait for that, no? Make the kung nag-take ka ng supplement na vitamin C, you can take EP Elixir Placenta as a supplement for this to prevent it from elevating, no? And cleanse your kidneys of sugar, etc. What is the other ingredient, active ingredient that helps, no, alleviate diabetes? Ole, ito na naman, napaka-active nito, yung ating COVID din, mentioned din ito, no? Olive leaf extract, no? Treatment of diabetes type 2 by balancing out, clearing out blood sugar. Ito ho. And it has antimicrobial activity, anti-hypertensive, anti-inflammatory, pero pinakamatindi ang kanyang effect sa anti-hyperglycemia. Hyper, mataas, glycemia, sugar, no? Laban siya sa mga elevated blood sugar, no? Now, ang theory nito, paano siya how it counters or how it helps in diabetes is that ang ating mga cells walang receptors, no? Yung mga may diabetes, mataas ang sugar, walang receptor sa mga cells nila. Ang receptor na yun, sabi ko nga parang cell site, no? Dumadaan ang insulin, hindi na-detect. So, these olive leaves will increase insulin sensitivity and activity. So, may insulin, hindi naman kasi siya yung type 1. Type 2 ito eh, may insulin siya, hindi lang sensitive. Hindi masyado siyang nasi-sense. Kumbaga, walang sensor. So, olive leaf extract makes that sensitive. Tataas ang sensitivity, tataas ang activity. Therefore, masisense niya yon. Therefore, pancreas will be responsive, ang lapay, no? It will metabolize sugar better. So, yung sugar ma-absorb better, no? Kumbaga sa kotse may turbo with OLE, no? With olive leaf extract. Ito yung role. This is according to the American Journal of Plant Sciences of Professor Kuchik Yiget. Okay? Proven ito sa studies. Now, ano pang meron? Medium chain triglycerides. Ito yung sinasabi ko eh. Pag may problema si upline nyo, si Sir Wilson, nananakit ang katawan, nako, Wilson, isa lang ang inyong solution. Ano yon? Sasabihan ako, kailangan mo lang ng virgin. Anong virgin? Virgin coconut oil. Ito yon, coconut oil. MCT, medium chain triglycerides. It is derived from coconut oil. It is composed of medium chain fatty acids. Medium chain, madali siyang ma-metabolize rather than the long chain, okay? Mas madali ito ma-metabolize, and therefore, pag na-metabolize ang medium chain fatty acids, they become ketones. Ketones, ano bang ketones? Parang narinig ko na yan ah. Oh yes, very, very familiar, di ba? Keto diet, di ba? Social. Ano kinakain mo? Ay nako, nagki-keto diet ako. Tingnan mo, kaya ang payat-payat ko. Keto diet, di ba ang mahal niyan, Mare? Oo, mahal nga, kaya nga social eh. But ito lang pala siya. Coconut oil, napakarami nun. Wag na ho kayo magpa-social-social. Ito yun. Ketones are made from medium chain triglycerides. Okay? Sikreto yan. Dito mo natutunan sa GFACS, no? It improves blood sugar control, no? And also, insulin sensitivity in people with diabetes. Sabi ko nga kanina nagiging sensitive kasi dumadaan yung blood. Ang insulin mo, wala, hindi pinapansin. MCT and olive leaf extract makes the pancreas more sensitive. Sabi nga sa'yo, kumbaga na-tune up sila with MCT and OLE, no? Olive leaf extract. Kaya, keto nga keto diet. Kaya trim na trim si body, no? It trims out body fat. It improves insulin resistance for patients with type 2 diabetes. Reduced inflammation, the usual. Okay? So, ito yon. Ano pa? Ito pa. Ano pa, no? And wait, here's more. Ika nga, no? Rice bran oil. Ano bang meron ni rice bran oil? Rice bran oil, it supports a healthy blood sugar level, no? It improves your insulin resistance. Kasi nga, mayroon kang insulin na pinoproduce, type 2 ka So you produce insulin, mayroon, pero resistant ka, no? Sabi nga, yung isa, hindi ka ganun ka-sensitive. Pwede rin resistant. Kaya nga may mga sakit tayo na diabetic, insulin resistant. So, may insulin pero mataas pa rin ang sugar. Bakit? Because you have this problem of insulin resistance. So, iibahin ngayon ang gamot ng iyong doktor, no? It lowers blood sugar levels by increasing insulin levels. Can you imagine? Kung ang pinoproduce ng iyong pancreas, ng inyong lapay is only 50%, rice bran oil will stimulate it to produce more, to 80 to 90% levels. You see? So, the insulin, it lowers sugar, di ba? Sabi natin, transporting it to the cells. If you develop resistance, your body will stop responding to this hormone. Resistant ka na nga Kailangan mo ng rice bran oil. Saan ako maghahanap nun? Palay, dudurugin ko. No, 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 no. Elixir placenta. You see? Ano pa? Another one, no? Fenugreek. Fenugreecum. Okay? Ito yon. When you see fenugreecum, fenugreek, what do you see? Gerson, nandiyan ka siguro. Kung nandiyan ka, o sino man sa inyo mahilig magsugal, anong nakikita nyo? Of course, itong dahon niya is clover. You see this? 3, 3. So, nakakita ka ng ganon, alam ko yan. Fenugreek yan. See? Tatluhan yan. Okay, this is a typical photo picture of fenugreek. In this study, it prevents, okay, progression of pre-diabetes to type 2 diabetes. Ano yung pre-diabetes? Yung binabali-bali wala natin. Tumaas na ang sugar, lumampas na doon o nasa high. 'Di ba ang range kasi ng mga sugar, ng mga values sa dugo, 0 to 1 o 10 to 12 o 40 to 90. Ang sugar mo nasa 90 na. Wala pa naman yan, di pa naman lampas. Pero ang range niya is 60 to 100. Nandun ka na sa 95. Hindi naman yan lampas, di ba? Pag lampas lang, Dok, bahala ka sa buhay mo. It is a warning sign of your body telling you, kumbaga, nandito ka na sa maximum, malapit, no? Ito po yon. Si fenugreek will slow down the transformation of pre-diabetes bago mag-diabetes, pre-departure, bago mag-depart pre-diabetic to type 2 full-blown diabetes, no? So before you can even be diabetic, nasa pre-diabetes ka, kaya diabetic stage. So what you do is always monitor your sugar at least yearly. Kung meron kayong familial tendency nasa pamilya nyo, kahit every 6 months para mahuli mo agad maaga, no? Walang saysay ang buhay kahit mayaman tayo. Look at Steve Jobs, no? Yumaman pero you cannot buy health. So as early as possible, diagnose natin ang diabetes. Let's go for it, no? It's our health. Isa lang ang buhay, isa lang ang health natin. And in conclusion, itong fenugreek in this particular study, it shows the evidence that the use of fenugreek will delay, as I mentioned to you, the onset of diabetes in subjects with pre-diabetes. Wala kang ang diabetes eh. So, parang kumbaga ito, supplement para hindi ako pumunta sa diabetes, no, full-blown. So, fenugreek is useful to lower blood glucose in pre-diabetes. Can you imagine? Nandun lang pala sa Elixir Placenta. Maintenance na. When you take it, you don't have to be a diabetic. Hindi pwede maging rason ang, ay wala naman akong diabetes, ba't ako iinom niyan? Di ba? Pre-diabetic ka, paano mo alam? Eh bay, nasa edad ka na eh. You are in your 40s, you're in your 50s, plus you have a family history, plus you have comorbidities, plus the fact that under stress ka. Meron kami noon sa medical school, experiment, no? Isang palaka, no? Kinuna namin ng dugo, naka-relax siya. Ito yung sugar niya, normal. Tapos, kinuryente namin ng kinuryente, stress. After an hour, kinuna namin ng blood sugar. What did we find out? Elevated. So, it does not mean that only sugar, only diet will elevate blood sugar. Wrong. Sinabi nga natin earlier, lifestyle. Sinabi natin earlier, environmental factors and stress. So, na-stress ka, tataas ang sugar mo. Pag nagkasakit ka, Dok, wala naman akong kinakain na mga matataas na sugar. Bakit ganon? Tumaas ang sugar ko. Stress. The stress of disease, the stress of everyday life will elevate your blood sugar, mind you. So all of this will affect your blood sugar. And I think that this study, again, another ingredient is black cumin seed oil. In this study, nakita natin na the main ingredient of black cumin seed oil, which is Nigella sativa or NS, has mabababa hypoglycemic effect, no? Bumababa ang sugar natin with black cumin seed oil. Ito yung active ingredient. Yung salidroside doon dito kay black cumin seed oil is NS or Nigella sativa. Black cumin seed oil has a positive effect on type 2 diabetes mellitus, T2DM, okay? It improves the laboratory parameters of hyperglycemia, no? And diabetes control. Significant fall, bumababa significantly, hindi lang mild, hindi lang moderate, significant, no? Nag-i-improve ang iyong blood sugar, fasting glucose. Significant rise, tumataas ang insulin. 'Di ba? Kaya ako nga sinasabi nung una nating training at that time, pag ang inyong pasyente is diabetic and is under medication, anti-diabetes, or nag-i-inject at nagtitake nito, no? Monitor nyo kasi baka bumagsak todo-todo. You see? This is how effective our Elixir Placenta is with this ingredient. Significant rise ang insulin. Kasasabi ko lang kanina may defect. Ang mga diabetics walang insulin, mahinang insulin, mababang insulin. Black cumin seed oil will increase insulin. Kaya, the moment you're taking this, Dok, ba't ako nahihilo? Kasi nga, bumababa ang sugar mo. Habang nagtitake ka ng yung anti-diabetic treatment, insulin or whatever, or any oral diabetic treatment, plus nagtitake ka ng elixir placenta, teka muna, bumababa. So nahihilo ka dahil nag-hypoglycemia ka. Anong gagawin ko? Mag-take ka muna ng sugar or take something, carbohydrates. And then, maaaring kailangan na pwede mo nang bawasan yung iyong mga anti-diabetic treatment. Kasi nga, bumababa na ang sugar mo. Oh, di ba? Oo, amen. So, when you do that, teka muna, dati 3 times a day ako, ngayon kahit once a day na lang, normal na nga, bumababa na ang sugar. Just with EP, no? Again, teka muna, bumababa lalo. Stop ko na kaya ang diabetic treatment ko. Even elixir na lang, pwede na. Oh, ganda na. Pero hindi ko sinasabi na pag nag-start ka with EP, stop mo rin ang diabetic medications mo. Hindi. Isabay mo. And then, pakiramdaman mo. I-monitor mo, test tape mo. May tape kasi, di ba? Compare mo yung color chart ng iyong diabetes color with the level of sugar. Then you will realize, you'll find out, oops, teka muna, bumaba ito Ba't ganon? Ang lakas naman na itong AP, no? So, dadating po yung panahon na hindi mo na kailangan mag-take ng diabetic medications kasi nag-normal na ang sugar mo because black cumin seed oil also and the other active ingredients of EP controls sugar, makes your pancreas sensitive to insulin, produces more insulin, okay, causes a fast fall in blood glucose, okay, and it can be used as an adjuvant for oral anti-diabetic drugs. Ano yung adjuvant? Adjuvant is it produces a synergistic effect. Ito na nga yung sinasabi ko, no? Maliban sa anti-diabetic treatment mo, medicine, mayroon ka rin EP, elixir placenta, which pag pinagsabay mo yung dalawa, nagsa-synergistic, mas dumodoble ang kanyang potency. Okay? Mas malakas ang effect. Kaya, kailangan ng bawasan ang treatment mo. Dadating yung araw na baka malamang hindi ka na mag-take ng anti-diabetic treatment mo. Okay? And that was my last slide. And I hope you learned a lot from this particular presentation. No? If you have any questions, I don't know if we have time.
Yes, Doc.
Sige.
All right. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, Doc Francis.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you. Yes, indeed, it is really a wonderful presentation. Ayan, learning ba, GFAX believers? Learning ba tayo? Madami ba tayong natutunan? Ayan, yes, of course. Okay. I will also be sharing, no, Doc, some testimonials ng ating mga GFAX believers who are using this elixir placenta na meron ding mga diabetes. Okay? So, isa po dito si Mr. Maneloy. Okay? Luce. Okay? Elixir placenta, sorry. Ayan, so user po siya, no? And nakita natin dito that he will turn 75 years old in 6 months by God's grace. Ayan, and mercy, he is still on the go and always rejuvenated. BP well managed, blood sugar, ayan, well controlled with the elixir placenta. Also, meron din po tayo, no, pre-diabetic din po si Tita Esther. Shout out kay Tita Esther ko, nandito po siya. Ayan, no? So, ang case po ni Tita Esther, pre-diabetic po siya, no? sabi niya 'no, yung sugar level niya po 'no ay nagsa-spike up ng 170. As, Doc Francis mentioned earlier 'no, yung ating sugar level, nagre-range yan ng 65 to 100. So, lampas na 'no, lampas na and, lumampas na sa borderline. So, kapag nakakakain si Tita Esther lalo na yung mga bawal na food, ayan ano, and yung mga food na talaga namang mataas sa sugar, rice and all, no? Chocolates, ayan, no? Talagang nagsa-spike up ng 170. But nung nag-take po siya no ng Elixir Placenta, wow na wow, grabe. Sabi ni Tita Esther, when she eats prohibited foods for diabetes, hindi na po nagsa-spike up higher than 130 and nagno-normalize na po ang kanyang blood sugar into less than 100 na, no? And kapag nakakakain siya ng masarap na food, ayan yung mga pinagbabawal na pagkain, hindi na po nagsa-spike up higher than 130 kasi nagpi-prick po siya no, nag-FBS din po siya. Tinetest niya rin po no yung kanyang blood sugar level, which is makikita natin no na talagang the ingredients na mga shinare ni Doc Francis kanina, the active ingredients really work in Elixir Placenta para sa ating mga diabetes patient. Since si Tita Esther is also diabetic, yung husband din po niya diabetic, no? Marami ring mga cases ang kanyang husband. So, ito po si Tito, yan, pakinggan po natin ang kanyang sharing. Yan, share ko lang yung sound. Ayan.
Mga kaibigan, ako po si Mr. Eduardo Reyes, asawa po ni Esther Reyes. Ako po ay 76 years old na. Ngayon, nung pinasok ako sa ospital, maraming lumabas na sakit ko. Hanggang sa hindi na ako makakain, nilagyan pa nga ako rito ng tubo sa ilong papunta sa tiyan. Talagang maraming matinding naranasan ko sa ospital na parang ayoko na mabuhay. Ang hirap pala na may sakit. Kaya ang ginawa ko, sabi ko sa mga bata, mga anak ko, uwi na lang ako, doon na ako sa bahay. Kung sakali abutan ako ng pamatayan, doon na lang. Ngayon, kung nasa bahay na ako, napainom ako ni Esther, asawa ko, ng Elixir, yung placenta. Nakaramdam ako ng kakaibang pakiramdam. Parang may pagbabago sa katawan ko. Una-una, naganahan, parang nagkaroon ako ng gustong-gustong kainin. Yun, nagsimula yun na ganahan akong kumain. Tapos nakaramdam ako ng paglakas. Kakaiba, parang merong hindi mo ma-describe na pangyayari sa katawan ko. Kaya hanggang ngayon, lumakas ako. Ang tunayan, nakakapag-practice ako gumawa ko ng local na practicean. Ito. Pero po, makikita nyo. Kaya nagaganyan. Dati, hindi ako Kaya nakaganyan ako. Tatagal ko pa yan. Gano'n. Ibig sabihin, lumakas ako. Hanggang ngayon, papasalamat ako una sa Diyos. Pangalawa, yung sa asawa ko, binigyan ako ng elixir. Yun na ang alam ko talaga sa akin. Yun lang po ang aking masasabi sa inyo.
Ayan, grabe. Talagang may living testimony no ng ating Elixir Placenta. Si Tito po no ay napa-hospitalize noon. As we can see dun sa kanyang video, amputated na rin po siya because of diabetes. Sobrang hopeless na yung case and sabi ni Tita Esther sa mga anak niya, let's just try it, no? Let's just try the Elixir Placenta kung makakatulong ba talaga no ang Elixir Placenta sa case ni Tito. And then after that, sobrang lumakas na siya, na-control ang kanyang diabetes, and you can see no dun sa kanyang video, talagang nag-improve yung kanyang health condition, and until now nag-improve ang health condition ni Tito. Ayan, so Maganda ba ang ating Elixir Placenta? Or sobrang ganda? Ayan, no? Grabe, thank you, Doc Francis, no, sa mga na-share mo, no, that the active ingredients, the stem cells, rhodiola, olive leaf extract, the MCT, rice bran oil, fenugreek, black cumin seed oil, talaga namang makikita natin yung effects sa diabetes. Okay, so let's go now sa mga questions. Okay lang sa'yo, Doc, na mag-answer ng mga questions? Alright. Sige, sige. Parang nakamute ka, Doc. Alright. Wait. Ayan. Okay. Can you unmute? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Ayan, sige. Now, let's see here. There are some questions over here, ano? Tingnan po natin. Meron akong nakita dito sa taas kanina eh. No, natabunan. Ang dami ng mga
About what?
ang dami ng mga questions. Okay, here. Ano daw po ang recommended dosage for diabetes, Doc?
Depends on the extent of diabetes, no? Just like any problem na doon sa ating protocol, no? The worst stage of the disease, of course you have to increase the dose, no? When you're just starting or early, you can start with 2, and then if it is worse than that, 3, and then if it's really talagang end stage, you want to see a big improvement, the impact would be faster, the results will be shorter duration, then you go for 4, no? It depends eh. Nasa evaluation nyo yun, no? I don't see the patient, nakikita nyo naman, no? And then for diabetes kasi, a lot is based on the value of the FBS niya, yung blood sugar. Fasting blood sugar is still the best. It's still the best measurement for blood sugar in diabetics, no? Mayroon na ngayon yung HB1AC, no? HB1AC is the determination of your sugar for the past 3 months. So you don't need to fast. Kasi minsan yung iba, Doc, hindi ako nakapag-fast pero nandito na ako sa laboratory. Paano ito? Hindi na ako makakapagkuha ng fasting blood sugar. I mentioned to you, or let me remind you again, FBS is the best way to determine ano ba talaga ang sugar, no? But hindi ka nakapag-fast, nag-breakfast ka at nandoon ka na sa laboratory, magpakuha ka ng HB1AC, no? Okay yon kahit hindi ka nag-fast, but HB1AC is not as accurate as FBS, but it determines your average blood sugar for the past 3 months. Kasi mayroong iba, sabihin na natin mga pilosopo, pagka malapit na magpakuha ng dugo, ay iinom ng mga anti-diabetics magpapakuha. Ayun, tamo, normal ako. After normal pala, abuso, kain dito, kain doon. Sino niloloko niya? Tayo, no? Sarili niya. So what I'm trying to say is, what has been going on, hindi mo alam, nag-fluctuate. Remember, I told you the cause of diabetes is not just the intake of sugar or carbohydrates, stress, lifestyle, and all, no? The past 3 months, malamang nagtumaas yun. Nung Pasko, dami ko nakain. Noong Nobyembre, naghahabol ako ng kota ko. Nako, na-stress ako. Malamang tumaas yun doon, no? January, normal ka. 'Di ba? Okay na, nabayaran. Dumami ang aking pamasko. So basically, there were 3 different months na iba-iba ang nangyari sa buhay mo. And probably during the last months, mataas ang blood sugar mo because of the stress, because of the kainan, lahat ang puto-bongbong sa simbang gabi, etc., no? So, bakit biglang elevated ang blood sugar ko? Alam ko naman normal ako. matahimik naman ako nitong January, it's because of the average. Ina-average nila yan sa HB1AC. Makikita mo doon. So, yun, it depends again on the stage of your the amount or the value of your blood sugar.
Ayun. Thank you, Doc Francis, for that one.
Um,
Okay, so meron din po nag-ask dito, pwede din po ba ang elixir sa nabulag na dahil sa complication ng diabetes?
ang permi kong sinasabi diyan is, remember, elixir is a supplement, no? And therefore, a supplement, as supplements, they are to be taken and when the most urgent medications have already been taken, no? Mas importante siyempre yung medication mo laban sa alta presyon, para sa sakit ng puso, etc. Para sa yung malabong mata, no? And elixir placenta, if you have some spared amount, will work as an adjuvant or synergistically with your medications. Definitely yes, pwede siya as a supplement. Pero kung meron kang extra for budget for that, go. It will help a lot. It will help us, especially if it's diabetes, then it would definitely help. Makakatulong.
Yes, that's right. Okay. And evident naman sa mga testimonials natin. May question din po dito, Doc. Kapag po ba 3 times nagda-dialysis at di na nag-function ang kidney, pwede pa rin po ba mag-take ng elixir placenta?
3 times nagda-dialysis?
Yes, siguro 3 times a week siguro to, Doc. Nagda-dialysis.
Okay. Yes, the timing is very important. The timing is very important. For dialysis, whenever I am faced with a question like this na ng mga nagda-dialysis na pasyente and who are taking medications, I always tell them not to have the intake of their supplements before the dialysis. After would be a better time because mapapakinabangan ng pasyente yung benefits ng gamot. Kaysa i-take mo siya before, abay, inanod lang siya ng dialysis, no? Napunta lang lahat sa ang dialysis machine ang nag-enjoy sa elixir placenta kasi napunta sa kanya yan. So the timing is very important, no? When to have your when to take it, no? So very important. It's the same thing as pag kayo ho po ay nagda-diarrhea, do not take your supplements, do not take your medications, do not take your elixir placenta. Let it go. Paliwasin mo muna. Pag hindi ka na nagda-diarrhea, that's when you take it. Why? Kasi yung intestine, very irritable yan. Pag nag-take ka ng medications, ilalabas lang niya yan. So instead of it being absorbed for the benefit of your body, wala. It goes out. Sayang lang ang mga gamot mo para sa alta presyon, para sa iyong diabetes, para sa ang elixir mo. Do it when wala na po kayong diarrhea or hindi na hyper-irritable. Wala kang diarrhea pero naririnig mo nag-aalboroto yung intestine. So, wait, relax ka lang. Huwag ka muna mag-take noon. Sayang eh.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Meron din po question dito, Doc, about sa gallstones naman. So,
Yeah.
nakakatulong din po ba ang elixir sa merong may gallstones?
Depende sa gallstones. Maraming klase ng gallstones, but gallstones that are caused by diet, actually cholesterol, no? A very fatty diet, which of course tuwan-tuwa dyan ng elixir kasi di ba we have actives that counter a high cholesterol or a high fatty diet. Ang high cholesterol diet or fatty diet is very much a cause of gallstones. So basically, it helps. Definitely, it helps. When you say, will it melt? Will it remove the stone sometimes it's not easy to say yes or to say no. A lot depends on the size. Kung maliit pa siya, kaya pa matunaw. Kung malaki na, hindi na. Kung maliit pero matagal na, no, the duration has been there. Kasi this is a cause, ang cause nito yung latak na mga cholesterol with the bile acids form the stone. No? It does help. The least that it can do. Sabihin na natin hindi siya matutunaw, but the least na gagawa ni EP, ni Elixir Placenta sa iyong gallstone is for it not to get worse, for it to grow, to delay its increase in size. The least. So in short, kung hindi list, syempre mas maganda ang magiging resulta, no? So ang minimum na maitutulong ni Elixir will be hindi siya mag-progress into a bigger one, madidelay or maganda kung lalo siyang matunaw, no? Kung lalo lumiit. So the best way for you to do is once you start taking Elixir, take an ultrasound of your stone as a baseline para mayroon kang baseline na ganito kalaki ang aking gallstone. After 6 months, for example, ulitin mo yung ultrasound in the same laboratory. Tingnan mo, i-compare mo. Okay? Ay pa, lumiit tuloy ko nga ito. So there's a positive effect of your Elixir, no? This is the way to monitor it. Hindi lang tira ka ng tira, no? You have to have a basis for that. Okay.
Yes, that's right. Okay, so meron dito no, Doc, good din for clarification. Since Elixir Placenta can lower blood sugar levels, may nagtatanong po, baka daw po bumaba lalo yung sugar level, maging hypoglycemia naman. So, how can you explain that one, Doc?
How can I explain? Siguro yung nag-question hindi nakikinig sa atin. No, I already mentioned that, no? When a patient is taking anti-diabetic medications, at the same time nag-Elixir Placenta, watch out, di ba? I said, i-monitor nyo ang blood sugar, i-monitor nyo ang blood pressure because nagkakaroon ng synergistic effect. Okay? Pwedeng bumaba siya dahan-dahan, nahihilo, kasi sabi ko kanina, nahihilo ka kasi nga nagka-hypoglycemia ka. Ano ang gagawin? Mag-take ka ng sugar para bumalik yung katinuan mo. Tama ba ang Tagalog ko? Para bumalik yung katinuan. Bumalik yung hindi ka nahihilo. Now you know the cause is that dumating si Elixir sa aking supplements So I think I have to slow down on my medications. But this is a positive effect, no? Huwag ka matakot. Ibig sabihin, effective sa iyo ang Elixir. You can, tingnan mo, monitor mo nga sugar ko, tingnan ko nga, ano ba ang value? Aba, bumaba nga according to the color chart or according to my FBS, no? So, yung 3 times a day mo na anti-diabetic na medication, gawin mo na lang twice a day. Okay? Then monitor mo. After 2 weeks, 3 weeks, after a month, teka muna, parang lalong bumaba. Once a day na lang. So it's important that you continue monitoring. Huwag niyo po lulubayan ang pagmo-monitor, no? And the way to monitor, you know na kung diabetic ka, you know prick test, you know your FBS, you know the other blood parameters that you can use to be able to monitor your blood sugar.
Okay, thank you for that, Doc, for the
Mm.
clarification. Meron pa
Oo.
dito, Doc. Actually, ang dami pa ng mga questions natin.
Yes,
Okay,
sure.
so here, there is a question. Kung pwede din ba ang Elixir para sa may blood infection? Gaano katagal po ang pag-take nito bago po magkaroon ng result?
Okay, may blood infection. Ang Elixir Placenta is not an antibiotic, okay? Pag may blood infection, unahin mo muna i-treat yung infection, no? Treat the infection, definitely may tinitake na yan na antibiotics, malamang. Because Elixir is not an antibiotic, it is a supplement. What does elixir do? Okay. Yung iba niyang active ingredients has antimicrobial, antibacterial, antiviral, no? Pero hindi 'yun ang kabuuhan niya, hindi 'yun ang main action niya, eh. Ang ating elixir has, ah, 'yun nga ang 14 active ingredients, no? So, address the infection, the blood infection. What is causing that, no? Where is the infection coming from? Otherwise, kahit anong elixir mo, kung hindi mo na-address yung infection, what is the source? Hindi siya gagaling. You do not blame elixir for that. Hindi naman pala ako gumagaling sa elixir na yan. No. Hindi mo na-diagnose or hindi mo na-address what is causing the blood infection. Whether you have an ongoing infectious area na hindi mo ina-address. Mag-antibiotics ka. Elixir placenta will help you modify your immune system so that the antibiotic that you will take, you will be responsive to it. Kumbaga, sa hindi nagtitake ng elixir placenta, it will take 6, 7, 8 days bago bumaba ang lagnat mo, bago bumaba ang infection mo, bago bumaba ang iyong WBC count, which is the parameter of measurement of infection. When you take elixir placenta, 3 days pa lang, 4 days pa lang, wala na akong lagnat. Okay? Ang bilis ko bumangon, mas lumakas ako mabilis. But of course, do not forget your antibiotics. Elixir placenta does that, no? It shortens the duration of healing, of recovery, rather than kung wala kang elixir placenta na iniinom, no? We do not claim magic for elixir. It helps you in the normal way, it helps you in the natural way, no? Kasi ang ating katawan, bugbog sa nutrition, mahina tayo, no? Stress, mahina tayo. Sa bisyo, meron tayo. So, pag nag-take ka ng antibiotics for the infection, it might not be as effective as it would be if you're taking supplements when you're so healthy, maganda ang tulog, kompleto ang tulog, you have supplements and all. So, elixir placenta does that.
Ayun. Okay. Here, meron pa po, Doc. Pwede daw po ba ang elixir placenta sa may tuberculosis and pneumonia?
Yes, pwede. Pwede yun. Oo. Both of them are lung infections. Ang pneumonia is usually an acute problem. Ang tuberculosis is usually a chronic problem. Long standing yan. Ang pneumonia, makukuha mo airdrop, just like COVID, no? Ang tuberculosis, makukuha mo not only through airdrop, but continuous contact with somebody who has tuberculosis. Kasama mo sa kama, kasama mo sa bahay, no? Hindi makukuha yan ng biglaan just like COVID, no? Constant chronic contact with the same person with COX or tuberculosis or so ganon. Both of them can be treatable with medications, are treatable with medications, but elixir placenta shortens the response. Just like what we were saying a while ago, na kapag ikay mayroong diabetes, elixir placenta will modify your immune system in such a way that you produce more insulin, in such a way that you are more sensitive to the sugar that is in your bloodstream para makuha mo yung sugar to make it an energy, a nutrient for your organs, for your muscles and all. That's what elixir does.
Okay, thank you, Doc, for that. Okay, so we also have some questions here. Pwede daw po ba ito sa 5 years old and below or yung mga bata po, Doc? Pwede po ba silang mag-take ng elixir placenta?
We already have mentioned that while in the past training sessions that we avoid giving it to pedia patients, no, for many reasons. Most of the time, if stem cells, sabi nga natin marami pang stem cells ang bata, no? Secondly, yung the size of the oral medication, usually nga itong mga nasa up to 10, 9, hindi makaswallow ng mga kapsula. That's why syrup lang sila, suspension lang mga antibiotics nila. So basically, we avoid giving them to this age bracket. We avoid giving them to pregnant patients and lactating mothers, no? These are the parameters that we follow. Protocol.
Yeah, that's right. So may mga protocols po tayong fina-follow ano para safe po na inumin ang Elixir Placenta.
There was one question na ganyan. Well, hindi nga makakain. The same thing as hindi makakain. Adult na pero hindi makaswallow, etc. You can pass it kung makakasya doon sa NGT, sa nasogastric tube. Sa PEG nila, pwede yun, no? Pwede mo ihalo doon sa food, ganon, sa tubing nila, tube feeding kasi yung iba, pwede yun. You can do that.
Okay. All right. As long as ma-intake yung Elixir Placenta. Okay,
Mm.
last question na po. Kaka-opera lang po sa colon. Meron na daw pong colonoscopy. I
Colonoscopy.
think colostomy to. Meron ng colostomy na nakakabit. Okay, so pwede daw po ba ang Elixir Placenta?
Definitely pwede. Ang colostomy po is yung intestine mo, doon sa dulo, bibig, kakain, sa kabilang dulo, puwet, lalabas ang kinain, no? Ang anong sakit niya again? Can you read the first line ng kanyang question?
Ay, sorry.
Na-opera siya?
Yeah po, sa colon.
Sa colon. So I said, ito yung colon niya or yung intestine niya, yung entry sa bibig, pagkain, magda-digest, lalabas, pupo. Okay? Inopera siya, hindi pwede dumaan doon kasi inopera itong kanyang intestine. Kung nakadugtong yan, yung tahi, pag dinaanan ng pagkain, bubuka. So, anong gagawin? Pahihingahin muna, inopera siya, saan dadaan ng pagkain? Wala. So, itong mouse hanggang dito, itataas, ilalagay sa kanyang abdomen, sa tiyan, para doon muna lumabas ang pupo. Pahihingahin yung putol hanggang puwet, no? So, itong dadaanan ng pupo from the mouth to the pupo, dito sa may tiyan niya, lalagyan ng bag. Bakit? Kasi wala siyang muscle sphincter pag-release ng pupo. Tuloy-tuloy yun. Ibig sabihin, pagkain niya madadigest, walang control. Wala. Yung pipigilin mo, mauutot ka. Pipigilin mo, mapupupo ka kasi may sphincter yon na controlled voluntarily. Dito wala. So tuloy-tuloy ang labas ng pupo sa bag. We let it rest for usually about 3 months. But that is not a problem. You can still take Elixir Placenta because the intestine can absorb nutrients, can absorb medications. So, okay lang po yun. Pwede ho uminom ng supplements, antibiotics, medications, and Elixir Placenta. Pwede.
Ayan. Alright, last na talaga. Ito po, Doc, naoperahan po sa puso, may rheumatic heart disease. Pwede po daw ba ang Elixir Placenta?
Mayroon siyang romantic heart disease.
Romantico. Rheumatic.
Rheumatic pala. Sorry. Yes. Wala naman, as I said from the very start, if you don't have any if you're not allergic to any active ingredient to Elixir Placenta, no problem, you can take it, no? Rheumatic heart, wala. It does not, wala naman any ingredient doon that would be detrimental or negative or cause a negative problem or a deleterious effect on the heart, wala naman. Oh. Wala eh. As far as research has shown us, it does not, it is okay to take it, no? Not unless hindi nga nakakaswalo, bagong na-opera ba? Na-opera ka mo or may sakit lang na
No, operahan daw. Doc.
na ano kayang inopera sa kanya?
Ayun lang.
Kasi ang rheumatic heart is never inoopera. Medical ang problem ng rheumatic heart. Not unless sinabi mo na bypass operation
Operahan daw
siya.
po sa puso. So possible siguro.
As sa
bypass.
puso.
Mm-mm.
Oo. Kung okay lang, wala namang problema. As I said, after an operation, any operation, major, kahit anong sa utak, sa tiyan, sa mattress, wherever, pag ang pasyente nakakakain na, pwede na ang oral intake, pwede na mag-supplements, pwede na mag-take ng kanyang medications, pwede na siya mag-elixir placenta. Okay? So, pag oral feeding na siya, pwede ng elixir placenta. You
Yeah.
can take that already.
Yeah, I think that's also the answer to other questions, no? So kapag pwede na po sila mag-take, then pwede naman po ang elixir placenta. Thank you very
Yes.
much, Doc Francis. And for
Oo,
all
okay.
GFox believers, okay, so screenshot today's training and create a caption with the hashtag GFox Elixir Placenta. Post it in your FB wall for public viewing po, ano? Ilagay niyo po public. And the best caption wins. So mamimigay po si GFox ng product po, GFox products po sa inyo, no? Kung mapili po kayo, no, the best caption for this training. Ayan. Thank you very much, Doc Francis. Ayan, palakpakan natin muli.
Pleasure. My pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Always,
And more to come, no? More to come, Doc. Marami pang i-discuss
Sure.
sa atin si Doc Francis
Okay.
na mga special diseases, no, kung paano nakakatulong ang elixir placenta. Ayan, maraming nagpapasalamat sa iyo, Doc, dito sa ating
Thank you sa inyong lahat, those who appreciate my effort in reaching out, sharing what I know. I know naman marami rin sa inyong maraming alam, no? I'm just sharing what I know, simplifying it. Kaya I don't want it to be technical para mas maintindihan ninyo. I know what goes through you, no? You're having some problems sometimes explaining to your potential customers, no? Basta the most often ang nakikita kong problema is yung susuplahin ka na wala naman akong sakit, ba't ako magte-take niyan? You see? This is the usual thing. Ayaw bumili, susuplahin ka pa, no? But the thing is, you do not take a supplement, you do not take elixir placenta kung may sakit ka na. No. Mas matindi yun, kakailanganin mo. Kasi by that time, you are not only taking your medications laban sa sakit mo, you will be taking elixir 4 tablets, 4 capsules a day or 2 times a day. Samantalang po sa ngayon, you will only take it 1 tablet, 2 tablets. Wala ka pa kasing sakit. Do not wait for you to get sick. Okay? That's how you tell them, because this is a supplement par excellence. Wala pa ho ako nakitang kasing ganda nitong supplement na ito. So, you will need it. Isa pa lang, 2 tableta pa lang, malayo na nga abutin mo. You will delay the possibility that you will be sick of diabetes, of hypertension, of any problem, of cancer, of any infection in the next couple of months, of years. You see? Dinelay mo yun. This is the best investment. Okay? Your life, your health is the best investment. Ikaw lang ba ang gusto maging healthy? Siyempre, gusto mo rin ang misis mo. Sige, ibili mo rin ang misis mo. Aba, teka muna. Ay, mga anak mo, paano yun? Di ba? You want to be happy. Gusto mo ba ikaw lang ang healthy at ang misis mo, nakikita mo, may inaalagaan ka may sakit, di ba? If you can afford it, why not? Give a gift of health to your children. It's the best to your family. Iyon lang ang akin masasabi. Thank you.
Alright. Wow, grabe. Coming from the CEO and Medical Director of Asian Center for Ageless Beauty, 'di ba?
Thank you.
Bilib na bilib din sa ating Elixir Placenta.
Yes,
It is
yes.
really highly recommended. Ayan
Oo.
nga.
Yes.
Ayan. So thank you very much, GFAX believers. Thank you, Doc Francis, for giving us your special time.
I'm taking it. It's always in my desk here. Oo. I'm always taking it.
Ayan, 'di ba? So talagang maniwala tayo sa ating produkto that it is
See,
really effective. Yan.
bukas
Oh.
yan. Oo. I always
Meron
take
pa.
it. Oo.
Okay, ayan. So thank you very much everyone. And magkita-kita po tayo ulit sa ating product presentation ng Elixir Placenta. Makakasama po natin ulit si Doc Francis next month naman po. Ayan. And patuloy pa rin naman po tayo may mga trainings every Monday, no? With the training team that we have here in GFAX. Thank you very much, Doc Francis and GFAX
Thank you.
believers.
Thank you.
Ayan. So magkita-kita po tayo ulit sa January 21 sa ating Success Rally. Bye-bye everyone. Thank you, Doc.
Bye-bye. 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 Viva Santo Niño.